Well, welcome back, everybody. Let's see what picture you're seeing here. I know I've been slacking on the videos here. Been fighting with Piecemeal here. All kinds of problems. It can go wrong. It will, and it did. We went to move the motor outside. Damn shavings. It started pouring. So quick covered up. Get her inside. And anyway. As I was saying here, started raining immediately when we got out of the back room over there and wanted to bring it around. Where the heck is my light? Damn light is. I must have taken it in. Thank God. But anyway, started raining and quick try to get over here. The wheel broke on the engine hoist. Right there. Not good. And if it could go wrong, it basically has. Have had issues, still having issues working it out with the ignition system here. Control box and either ballast resistor that I put it through firing and hitting and missing and everything else, but trying to break the cam in, and we got it now where I bypassed for temporarily the ballast resistor. We finally got the ignition smoothed out and look good. Yep. And then I thought I heard a tink, 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 a little tinking sound on the passenger side here. So I pulled the valve cover off and pulled the rocker arm shafts off, pulled push rods. Make sure when you do this, you keep them in order. Just because I'm worried about the camshaft. There's no witness marks. Nothing's mushrooming over on the push rods. So I don't know. We got about, I'm going to say she's got about 20 minutes on it. At least 20 minutes on it. So I don't know, is the oil breaking down? Is it hitting maybe the baffle inside the valve cover here? Not 100% sure yet. Just because we have a higher lift cam, so maybe it might be starting to want to kiss the valve cover a little bit. At least the baffle, so I might remove the baffle. Not 100% on it yet. But, yeah, I mean, motor mounts. Didn't work. They sent the wrong ones. And number two, the headers didn't work. Got the passenger side in here. Now, they were long tube headers they were used. I showed you. Saw where it needed some clearance in, pulled it down, dinged it out, gave it a little clearance, put it back in. That side's good. Bolted it on. We actually just used 2 bolts, just snug and tight, basically. Went to the driver's side because we knew that would be the worst side, so we waited for that. And we fought. Put the engine hoist back underneath on that side, help pick it up a little bit, and use a jack and help finesse the header up in place. I was here hitting the steering linkages underneath, and it was sitting about 2 inches too tall. So ended up cutting them to get them. Whoa, I'm falling everywhere here. To get them out of the car. Because I even clearanced them a little bit where we thought we were hitting. Well, I mean, it had been. So instead of fighting, I just cut him, got him out of the car. So just went with the straight exhaust manifolds. Not really what I wanted to do, but it worked for now. So just put the factory cast iron stock exhaust manifolds on. And naturally, right out the get-go, ding, there goes a bolt. Broke a bolt. And this is actually the bolt right here. It was actually the stud, the very front stud. And you can see by the rust mark here, if you ever break a bolt, you can see by the rust mark, if there is any rust mark, if it was already cracked and it was just biding some time. This was about 70% cracked, but it held on before. But the moment, I swear, not even 2 foot-pounds of torque in it, said, nope, I'm out. I'm leaving the chat. Like I said, anything and everything can go wrong. It's going wrong. So I think tomorrow morning here, I'm going to drain the coolant back out of it. And probably end up popping the intake off, just because I want to see the lifters. And I want to make sure none are failing on me here. Like I said, I could have swore I heard a ticking on this side. I don't like it. But as of right now, nothing is showing up. None of the ends are peened over on the push rods. They all look fine. Rocker arm shafts down there, they all look fine. I'll even clip in here a video of it running. I had one running, well, the other day when we got initially fired up, and I had one running earlier today where we finally got the ignition sorted out where you could hear it's not missing. And then the timing was slightly too advanced because I shut it off, and that was the other thing with it. You get the initial start and would rev up perfectly fine, but you'd hear that miss and had that lope, and it wasn't right, and you could hear it, that the ignition wasn't quite right. But if you revved it, it was cool. And so now that I bypass this, it's actually smooth. Revs a little different. Still revs good. But like I said, now I had that noise over here, and I'm not happy with it. So I think my next course of action, since I'm not seeing nothing on these push rods here, I'll probably pull the other side apart, take a look at them, just to be safe. And then when I'm done with that, then I'll probably just pull the intake off. And that way I can pull lifters out, inspect them, make sure they're spinning in their bores like they're supposed to, and none are starting to grind on the cam. And we got to go from there. Oh, transmission's leaking too. Front input shaft, which would be the main front pump seal. Not the outer ring. I assume it's just the input shaft. So I got to pull the transmission out of the car as well and do the seal because it's leaking too bad. So one problem after another. This is where we stand. Like I said, I will clip in a video of it's running. I've been after it every night, so I haven't had time to clean up in the barn here. I haven't had time to make any videos for these guys. So I just wanted to get something out there. Also, radiator did not fit, so I had to drill new holes, and I still got to go get hoses. Still got to find the correct hoses. These hoses that I put on here are used, and oh, I got some redneck engineering on the bottom down here. As you can see, my overflow tank is screwed right here to the side. I'll show you. There we go. This overflow tank normally sat right here between these two screws, 1, 2. Well, as you can see how much wider the radiator is. Sets into the side. And if you can see down there, piece of galvanized pipe cut. That little piece of hose there is from the Scout. There's another piece of the galvanized pipe. Leaks a little bit, but it is good enough to test and run. But as you can see, my cat litter on the ground there because the transmission was leaking. And then the oil seal was leaking. Well, not the oil seal. But where we have the oil pressure gauge back here, that got kind of semi-cross-threaded. It was crooked. The Chevy HHR pass. Looked like a Kia or a Subaru or something. So it got cross-threaded and just stripped where it was sitting slightly sideways here. So that was leaking oil as well. Good oil pressure though. Well, we know where the bypass is. It's at 60 pounds in the factory pump. Because that's what the gauge goes up to and just stays there. So that's our bypass. I mean, that idle comes down. Anything else? One sensor on transmission was bad. And we actually pulled that off of the old transmission because it's different wiring plug. So we pulled the old one off, put it in this one. Wasn't getting the ground signal, which is over there in main starter relay over here. Right here. So it wasn't getting the ground signal. So it wouldn't let it crank right, or we didn't even crank it at that time. We were just keying on and off and just making sure everything was checking out. So I ended up just bypassing it, bringing it over here until I get a sensor, just straight to the battery. What else? I know there's something else. I'm guaranteed I'm missing something. 97 things, 100 million things going on. I can't remember. So that's probably the plan here. Either I'm going to just slap it back together and start it up and just cross my fingers and hope, or I got to drain the tank anyway because I got to find hoses. So if I drain the tank, then I can pull the intake off and pull all the lifters and make sure everything's looking good. Like I said, as you pull any of these out, your push rods, your lifters, make sure they go back in the exact same hole you got them out of. So hopefully, if I do that, everything checks out. They all look good, that they all look like they're spinning and they're breaking in. And I can just plop them right back in and be good to go. So I don't think there's anything else. I said I just have the lines hanging down underneath the transmission cooler lines. Didn't bother bringing them up here to the front of the radiator. I just put them on, plugged off the other ends. That way then we could start it and run it, not burn the pump up in the transmission or anything else. So I think that's it. So keep you up to date. See if we get her done in 2 days. Dominator's hanging right down the street. So I'm sure within the next 2 days here, I'll go down there and mill around, talk with them, and give them some eggs. I always like when I give them some eggs. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'm going to catch you on the next one, and wish me luck.